Janet, please.
This is Tom.
Hi, Tom. This
Yes.
is Joshua with AuctionSoft. I have an appointment with Janet this evening.
Oh, actually, no, it's with my wife, Christy.
Oh, Christy.
Yeah, Janet's my mother. But you'll be talking with myself, Tom, and Christy.
Okay, okay.
Yep.
Can you hear me okay?
I'm gonna try to put you on speaker if that's okay.
All right, yeah.
Hold on. Okay, are you there?
I am.
All right, I've got Christy here with me.
All right, Christy. I apologize. I went to the website and I had this number from earlier and I thought Janet's name was there, so I apologize.
Well, no, it probably was. This is our auction barn phone number. So
Okay. So are you in front of the computer?
yes.
Okay. So my name's Joshua Baxter, and I am third generation auctioneer. And my parents, 75 years old, 78 years old, still doing weekly sales. So I am very, very well versed in the auction industry, and transitioned from paper tickets for them up through computers. We went to high bid and flex. And was that what that's what caused us to build AuctionSoft. So feel free to stop me if you have any questions, either about business or personal, or you just want to, talk about the auction industry. That's fine. I need about 45 minutes to an hour. Is that okay?
You bet.
Okay. Okay. So let's start by just connecting. If you will go to auctionsoft.com, and I want you to scroll down to the very, very, very bottom, and right next to our logo at the bottom, there's a little button that says Join Virtual Demo. And I want you to click that, and then you'll see my picture, and I want you to click that.
Number is 68.
Okay. Yeah, it's just you and us this, or you and me this evening. So okay. So now you're now looking at my screen. And I think if you scroll down just slightly, you'll get it just a little bit better. All right, very good, very good, very good. Yeah. Okay, so now you're looking at my screen. You can pretty much just follow along. Now, when you first go to AuctionSoft, you'll see all these listings here. All right, and these are people that are using AuctionSoft to manage their auction. It's clerking software, but as a bonus, you get an advertisement that tells you about the sale. So you can upload as many pictures as you want. You can give descriptions. We do online and simulcast, so it's kind of all wrapped into one package. But that's our main site. So when you first go here to log in at the beginning, you're going to see all this. All right. So I have already logged in as you. And I saw that you uploaded your company logo. That's fantastic. Since we've talked, I've taken the time to create a demo sale for you, which is actually, I went in and added a picture, and I used the November 15th sale. I hope that's okay.
Oh yeah.
All right. And so I have 9 p.m. That's tonight. We're going to change that here in a minute, but this is your sale. And all right. So what you and I are on the phone for is primarily about um, simple to use clerking software for your live auctions. Am I correct?
Yes.
Okay. Again, stop me if you have any questions, but I'm just going to go along. So once you get to the front page and you've logged in, you're going to click the dashboard. Our number one goal when building AuctionSoft was designing something that my mother could use. And she wasn't computer savvy at all, so I hope you get the feel that this is very user friendly. On the left, you've got four.
My 83-year-old mother.
Is she going to be using this as well?
Oh God, no.
Well, I'm sure she could do it. So on the left, you've got the nav bar, and this little button right here will open and close your nav bar so you can get to it anytime you want. You are currently looking at the dashboard, and as you have sales, you'll get like a little QuickBooks type graph here that shows you your numbers from your sale. And you can set a date range if you want, maybe the last 12 months. You don't have any data yet, so nothing's there. And if anyone owes you from any auction in the past, that hasn't settled up, absentee bid that hasn't paid or whatever it is, it will show up here. So when you first log in, you get to see anybody that's a reminder of people who owe you. And then you only have one sale listed, but it'll also, we've already got, I just did this like a half hour ago, and I've already got 12 people that have seen this sale. So we ought to put some details up here soon. The second tab is simply how we organize and keep all of your sales easy to find. We like tabs, so it's either future or past sales. Once you get on the correct tab, everything will be listed here, and you'll simply come over to click Manage Auction. And that will open up the tools to manage the November 15th sale. And there's kind of a process. So I'm gonna stop for that for a second and go down to customers. To us, a customer is a bidder or a consigner. And we talked about this a little bit earlier yesterday, but everything is organized by the person's phone number. So we don't have duplicate accounts. And the system will then also keep track of who's a bidder, who's a consigner, and who is both. And there's no overlap problems with that. I know that was a concern for you, but as I show you here in a minute, you'll see that that's not a big deal. Only one person in your customer base currently. If you are with Flex, I think even 360 does this, but somewhere on their customers area, they have a download via CSV file. Are you familiar with that? Okay, there basically you will export your customer data to a CSV, and then you will come here and you can click this button and take that same file, and you're basically moving all of your customer data into AuctionSoft to make the transition simpler. Okay. I can help you with that when we get there. Okay. All right. It's very easy to do, but I'll walk you through it. All right, so currently we only have the one customer, and we're going to add some more here in a second. Staff. You can create staff levels like cashiers, clerks. I don't know why Ringman would need to be in here, but maybe your accountant. And then you can give them certain permissions so that they can't go into company data and make changes, but they could, clerk the sale, so on and so forth. I'm not going to spend a lot of time on this, but if you want to do multiple staff members, and the big plus to that is you get the ability to track who did what. And if someone's not a very good clerk, you'll be able to track, one person's making a bunch of mistakes and another person is a good clerk. Okay? Okay?
So how do they, we've got two cashiers. Do they log in somehow, or how do we know which cashier's doing what?
Excellent question. So once they are a member of your staff, they would log in with their own email and password, and then they click a button that basically allows them to get to your account with the permissions that you have signed them up for.
Okay. I really like that. Yeah. That's a nice
And
bonus.
I will tell you that it's not, most family-run businesses, everybody knows each other. They wouldn't be working there if they didn't trust them. But every once in a while, there is a reason to have a staff member with less than all permissions. Okay? Now, reports. We keep it really simple here. Let me ask you this. Do you use reserve bidder and consignor numbers, permanent bid numbers?
We do use permanent bid numbers.
For everyone, or is it just for your VIPs? Everyone?
Just our certain,
okay.
Our regular calls.
So we can do either. You can give them their regular permanent number, or the system will automatically just assign the next available number. It's all done on the fly by the system, but when you start putting those people in, this is where it'll report that and show it to you if you just need to go look for somebody. You also will then be able to come here, just simply set a date range, whether you're paying sales tax monthly, quarterly, annually, whatever it is. You simply set a date range and then pick the type of report that you want to see, and then it will give you all of the data here for you to print out as needed. Again, you don't have any data here, so I can't really show you anything, but we'll play with some stuff here and come back to it if you want to. But it is very, very user-friendly. We actually have a check writing feature, so whether you're writing checks to your staff or you're writing checks for advertising or whatever that might be for the sale, that's one thing. Also, to your consigners, You can write checks, and we have a laser check stock that you can order and then do like laser printing. Makes it very quick to print out. And if you use it that way, then AuctionSoft keeps a record of all the check numbers and so on and so forth. Okay, so let's see. Let's go on to the next one. Your profile. Now, this is what you set up earlier. And if you needed to change something for some reason, this is where you would come and make that change. But every person that you put in, whether it's a consignor or bidder, they are going to have a big profile like this. This is where you would come to make them sales tax exempt. Maybe you want to set an alert because they wrote you a bad check and you don't want to take their check anymore. Or maybe they're a VIP, very picky customer. And this is also where you would go over to give permanent numbers. So now while we're in Tom's account, this is the main account for this company. Are you using permanent numbers for you?
Yes.
What's that number?
23.
And that's a bidder number, same number for the consignor?
No, just bidder number.
Just bidder number. Okay, this is also where we'll come to set consignor rates, but we don't have any to set yet, so we'll come back to that. All right, and all right, so now we've gone to my profile. Let's go to my company. All right, so the first tab is simply information about you, and I see you put this in here. There's 3 different boxes here which allow you to do different things. This description that you put in under company, every time you create a new auction in AuctionSoft, whatever is here will automatically be pulled into that, so you don't have to retype it. That's easy. Your terms and conditions, check, cash, card. You're taking cards currently, correct?
Yeah.
Okay. And the footer. Now the footer is simply goes at the bottom of the bid card and the invoice or receipt that you print out. And it may say something like, hey, thanks for coming. We're still taking consignments for our upcoming December holiday sale, whatever that might be. So you can organize these 3 different boxes to do different things. Okay? Excuse me. If you do want to write checks with us, this is where you'll come to. It's a link to our check stock online. And then when you go to put in your account numbers and your routing numbers, you'll come down here to do that. All right. But this is the most important thing we're going to talk about tonight, and that is your company rates and settings. When we are done with these 6 tabs, AuctionSoft will be completely ready to go. You could start a sale at 7:30 and everything would run perfectly. Okay. So let's start with rates. Where you're at, are you charging a sales tax?
So it varies. We don't do it on every sale.
Okay. Is the norm to have it or not have it?
Right now, the norm is to not have it.
Okay.
But that could change down the road.
So what we're doing...
Iowa has what's called a, I can't think of the word, but if they only sell 3 times or less a year, they don't have to pay sales tax.
Okay. Like in Indiana, if you're in an auction facility where the business is, reselling things, we pay tax. If you're on site and it's what's called a casual sale and nothing was bought with the intention of selling, it's not taxable. So I know it's different.
Gotcha.
That makes sense? So we'll leave it off. Anything we do in this tab where we're setting the rates and settings can be adjusted each time you make a sale or create an event. But these are just the norms that we're doing. All right. Do you charge a buyer's premium?
Not in a live auction, only online.
Okay. Payments. Now, this is where you would come to hook up Stripe. Do you have a Stripe account already?
No, we have a Square account.
Okay. Stripe and Square are exactly the same. Let's call them cousins. The only difference is Square is catering to online applications like this, where Square, you have some hardware, whether you're swiping it through your phone or a kiosk or whatever it is. Okay. But similar fees, I think. Stripe charges 30 cents per transaction plus 2.9%. That's where I think everybody gets the 3% surcharge, right? So currently, we will leave this off. If you want people to be able to pay with their phones after the sale, you would need to set up a Stripe account, which is no big deal. 10 minutes.
And I think that is something we would want to look into. So we'll look into Stripe.
Okay. Let me know if you need help, but all you really have to do is when you set it up, it will give you what's called API keys. You move those API keys over here. One's a publishable and one's a secret. Think of it as a login and password, and then AuctionSoft and Stripe just immediately connect. All right. You're going to allow your customers to leave absentee bids, I assume, so some invoicing may be needed, so we'll leave that checked. Other pay types. So this is where we're going to come down and we're going to put in here Square. And what is your surcharge?
3%.
Okay, so that's good. Now, we allow additional pay types, and people think cash, check, charge, what else is there? Well, my dad, one of the things he does is he gives all his customers in December like a $100 gift certificate to spend back at his sale for his VIPs. And so we just created a way that you could collect or manage the income from adjustments during the checkout process. So that's what that is. Anything like that you do?
We do not.
Okay.
Good idea, though.
Yeah, thank you. All right, consigners. Consigner commission option. So someone comes and brings you a load of merchandise. What is your standard rate?
20%.
All right, let's just call it standard rate. Anything I do on this demo, you can edit at any point, delete it, change it, whatever. Do you have a VIP rate or a good merch rate?
Well,
Bad merch rate?
we have rates like we sell a lot of farm equipment.
Okay.
And so one thing we do use pretty regular is like a sliding scale.
All right.
Do anything like that?
Absolutely, yeah. So so let's leave the 20%, but you can do as many as you want. Like some people do a friends and family rate. If it's an employee, you know, they get 10%. But on a sliding scale, we can create a single. For this example, if an item is less than or equal to $10, it goes from 20% to 50%, and the system calculates all that on the fly at the consignor statement. If you want to do multiple sliders, so you know the first $10 is 50%. From 11 to 100 is 25, and anything over 100 is 20%. You can build all that if you want to.
Okay.
Do you have
All done right there.
all done right here? You just come in and so answer the question. If and whoops, where to go? Turn that back on. If item is less than or equal to X, charge Y.
Okay.
All right, and let's turn off the flat fee, and then submit it, and then it'll build you a little list right here that you can do. All right. Do you allow your consigner to offset his sales to his purchases?
So, yes, but that's not used very often. That's one of the things at AuctionFlex we've been having trouble with. It automatically does it, and we don't want it to automatically do it.
Okay. So the way our system works, much like those pay types I was talking about, when you go to check someone out, it's going to show you their invoice, and then it's going to offer you the question, how do you want this person to pay? And they say, all right, when you click the button, it'll say cash, check, charge with 3%, and then it'll say consigner credit. If you, at that second, want to allow them to use their $65 consigner credit towards their $100 in purchases, you simply click that button. It takes the credit, and then it will offer you the next $35 left. How would you like to pay the $35? It's all based on your staff training at that point. Okay? So I'll leave that checked for now, but the only thing this does is either show your staff that option or not.
Okay.
All right? Now, consigner per ticket fee. Some auctioneers want it to charge a quarter per dropped hammer or a dollar per ticket. Do you do anything like that?
No.
Turn that off. No sale fee?
We do have a no-sale fee.
Okay.
And it might vary from auction to auction, but generally on those, like our farm equipment, it's $100.
All right. And again, this little box, when you create a new auction, all of these things I'm showing you, it'll just kind of confirm, and then you can change for that particular sale and go on. All right. So consigner buyback. We try to discourage letting sellers bid on their own stuff to protect it. In some states, you're not allowed to do that. You're not allowed to forbid it. So what we do is we offer the auctioneer a way to charge a penalty for help discourage that. You do anything like that?
We don't encourage it either, but what we actually just had it happen this past Saturday. A guy bought back one of his items, and he's just paying us the commission rate.
Yeah. Well, so what we do is we put this in here. So let's say your commission is 20. You could put it in your terms and conditions that we don't like sellers bidding on their own stuff. It gives the auctioneer a bad rap. So if you want to do that, you pay an extra 30. So we would click this button, put in 30. The system calculates based on the phone number of the seller and the buyer. It does a cross-reference. It says, this person's going to pay an extra 30%. Okay. Consigner tag options. Now, I'm going to create a tag for you called farm machinery, if I could spell it correctly. And then on farm machinery, so someone brings you an estate, and you're selling all of the personal property, and we get to the farm machinery. So everything's 20% except for the farm machinery, which is what percent?
Again, on that sliding scale, it depends on the value, but let's just say 10.
Okay. So if everything across the board is on your sliding scale, you wouldn't need to use this, but I'll just save it for now, just so I can use it as a...
On an estate, I could see that, where we would maybe do the 20% for personal property and 10% for the machinery.
Exactly. So when your clerk is clerking the item, the tag option just shows up there next to every description, and if your clerk tags it as farm machinery, then it's automatically calculated as a red line in their consignor statement that this one is an adjustment rate and only gets 10%. And it can be done at the clerking or at the cashier's window, either one. Okay? All right, so let's go on. Items. If you use us for online or simulcast, you can set your own bidding increments that you like. This is just what we put in there to give a person a place to start. This isn't really... if you're using us for online and you want to be notified of new bidders that have registered to bid online, you click this button. Nobody unclicks this. I'm surprised that was unclicked. But automated SMS texts. So when a person registers for your live sale, and you're going to see this in a minute, they're going to get a text message, and they're going to be able to follow along in real time with all of the items they purchased and won at the sale, and that's how they get their invoice to check out via their phone if we do. Believe it or not, I had a client that did not want their customers getting that because they didn't want them to know how much they had spent until they get to the cashier's window. So I built a way to turn it off, but everybody loves that feature. I promise you, it'll be a nice thing your customers will like. Now, under other, you're in a facility, right? You're in an auction barn?
We are.
Okay. Does your clerk sit right next to you?
Yes.
Do you like being able to lean over and see the running total of the sale?
Certainly.
Okay, so that's there. I'm going to turn that off. Okay, I'm not going to do that right now. And all right, so what kind of advertising do you do to market? What surprised me is your wife had told me you guys do not do auction zip or go to auction.
We do not. And honestly, I don't know much about it.
All right, well, we'll talk about that in a minute. But that very surprises me because I thought every auction house across the country, you're the first person. And I've gone all the way, I'm in Indianapolis, but I've gotten all the way to Alaska to train this system. And you're the first person to tell me that. So what kind of marketing do you do to get customers to your sale?
Print advertising. We still use that.
Is that newspaper?
Yeah, newspapers and trade old or around here. You go to the local convenience store and there's one. It's called the Demo Trader, right? So it's a free paper you grab and it lists auctions all over Southern Iowa, Northern Missouri.
Okay.
And that one actually
Are you? I know you've got a nice website. Okay, we probably ought to put drive by. Somebody saw you, or maybe word of mouth. They found out about your sale.
Right.
And we could add more. This just gives me a place to start. Okay, so let's submit that. And then if a new person comes to your sale and you're going to give them the next available number, are you starting with 1? Is that okay? Okay. Consigner starting with 1, okay?
Yep.
Okay. We're done. We're ready. The system's completely ready to go. So let's go have an auction. So we've created an auction. We're going to go over here and manage it. Now, this is what I think your wife is going to like. The entire auction is going to be run from this page. So we have 3 parts. The top part up here is all about your customers. Now the first tab, there are 3 tabs. The first tab is your customers. Think of it as the bucket of customers that has ever done business with you in the past. Once they get registered for this sale, November 15th, they will show up on the Registered Bidders tab. If they are consigners, they will show up in the Consigners tab. So everything is organized right here. So you can organize it. Now there's a lot of moving parts here. There's some buttons and things I'm going to show you about, but everything customer-wise is right here. So let's pretend we're going to add some new people, and let's start with your wife. She walks up, and I can barely hear her when she's kind of giggling in the background, so please speak up. But normally she walks up and she says, I need to get a number. And the first thing you would do, assuming you had, several hundred or thousands of entries here, is what's your last name or what's your phone number? And I think Flex does that now, where you kind of type in the last 4 digits of their phone number or their last name. And then the list will automatically sort and only show you matching results. But you could put in their first name, their last name, their home address, their phone number, their email address, anything that's in their profile, you type here, it finds them. So, but since she's not here, the next step is to go over here and add a new bidder. So, could I have your phone number? Is it the one I'm calling?
No.
Okay, give me your cell phone number, please.
Okay, it's 641
Uh-huh.
895 2509.
Okay. Now, it's important that you ask people, I mean, you're going to have to ask them for the phone number as the first step to putting someone in. If they've never been to a sale with AuctionSoft running, your staff member will submit it and it'll say, I'm sorry, there's no one found, so we're going to click that. Now, at this point, we have an ID scanner. So you say, all right, I need your ID. You scan it. It fills in all this data, but since we're not there, let's start from scratch. First name?
Kristy, Kristy.
Okay, and Demry. Oops. And email address?
Just lowercase k Demry at Hotmail.
Nice.
No E after the M.
Sorry, thank you.
Yep.
Okay. Okay, I'm going to leave company name off, but if this was a consigner and we were making out a check to the estate of for someone, anything you put in company automatically shows up on their invoice and their consigner statement as the main to person, paid to. Okay, so for tax purposes, if they're buying for tax resale or whatever it is. So just know that anything that goes here trumps what comes here. Okay? I don't know your ID. You can change that later, but it is required. So if you want to put somebody in without it, just type like I'm doing. Now, may I have your address?
Yes. 19345 Highway 2, Centerville, Iowa.
Okay, zip code?
52544.
The system's going to automatically, via zip, look up the city and state to make it just a little quicker for you to go. If you happen to be buying for a company, we could, right here, instead of going to your profile and making those changes, it makes it easy for you to accept that here. And if you're tax exempt, we put in a tax number and set the state. Same thing with buyer's premium. Or if you were a consigner, we could simply choose from our list of options that we created from before. But since you're going to be a bidder, we simply, do you have a permanent bid number you like to use?
I do not.
Excellent example. So then I would just simply click this blue button. The system is going to take me back to the page. It's going to tell me that you've been assigned bidder number 1. Your phone is going to ding and you're going to get a text message that says, welcome to today's sale, and you can follow along on all your purchases.
I just did, yes.
And I use this same bar up here at the top to come over and say, how did you hear about today's sale? Well, I heard of this AuctionSoft company. And then I can print out your bid card on plain paper to keep it cheap, and you just fold it in half. This is also where your terms and conditions and your footer, which I wrote in here earlier before we got on the phone. So people can still write notes and things like they want to, but all of the details are here for you, and you can change this as you go. Makes that a little custom. But let's say you said, can I be permanent bid number 1 every time? Then you would simply come over here and click this black button, or dark blue, and it would automatically put number 1 in their preferred bid numbers and save it for you for the future. So everything's done with these little tools once I get anybody in the system, and we have got 1 person here. So we've got 2. Now let's say the next person that walks up is me. I come here and my name's Baxter. Oh, you're not in our system. No records found, so I'm going to start it. Now, let's say that someone comes up and they're Amish and they don't really want to give you a phone number, or they say they don't have one. We still have a way of doing that. You simply click this button and the system bypasses the phone number requirement. I don't recommend this, but it is sometimes needed. If you do this a lot, it creates additional accounts, and then you got to email me and say, hey, please delete one of these accounts, yada, yada. So try to get phone numbers whenever you can. But let's say you come here and it's my turn, and you say, what's your phone number? And I give you that phone number. Now, I've never been to your auction, but I've been to other auctions in the country that are running my cloud-based auction software. So the system just goes out and finds me in the cloud, and it's 1 click to add me to your sale. Now I'm bidder number 2. I've now showed up on the list of registered bidders, but I also get added to the master list for your big bucket of customers. Okay? Now, Tom, we're going to make you the consigner.
Okay.
And I simply have to, again, if you had thousands of people, you simply find the person, or maybe you just put them in. But if you're going to have somebody show up to consign, you simply just click this button, and now you get a different one. And now the system is now organizing. All your bidders are here. All your consigners are over here. And now we have 1 consigner, 2 registered bidders, and 3 people overall in your database. Let's go ahead and let you bid too. So I simply give you a bid number, just like that. How'd you hear about today's sale? I saw it in the trader. Let me print your big ticket. Boof. Let's do a couple more. So let's use my wife as one. 937-7319. Poof. She's under AuctionSoft. And that's another one. And you can see how quickly this would go. 733. No. Oh my gosh, I forgot my friend's number. JR, and there's him, and poof. So you can see once people are in the system, or even if they're not in the system, but they've been to any auction running AuctionSoft, and you have a lot down there, especially in Arkansas, we've got a pretty good following there. Now, all of a sudden, we have 5 people in the system real quick, 5 registered bidders, just 1 consigner. But I noticed that my consigner has not been given a rate. So each one of these tabs has some extra buttons built in to this line item here for just this. So I want to go to consigner, and I want to go to edit his profile to make sure Tom is on 20%. But as I open this action button, I get other options. I could, we brought Tom's stuff into the auction facility, and we charged him a $250 pickup fee. All right, so the sale hasn't happened, but the system now knows that he's going to get that deducted. We need to go down here to commission and add the commission. The red button always takes you right back to where you were at. Okay, and again, we're working on this one page that we call the cashier's window, or the cashier's page. All from here, everything that you do with your customers is going to be here. So we've got one consigner at 20%. We've got 5 registered bidders, one with a permanent number, 5 people here registered. Okay, so everything that happens over here. Go ahead.
Question.
Yep.
On the commission that you just added,
Yep.
can that be, say we just flat forgot it until the auction was over? Can we go in and put it once it's all been clerked and done?
That is an excellent question, and I'm happy to tell you that AuctionSoft it's smart enough to fix everything that needs to get fixed in reverse if you make a change at the end of the sale.
Okay.
Yep. It's all in real time.
We've been doing it by hand the other way.
Yeah. Nope. It's all. We'll show you that here in just a second and prove it. But yes, so if you get to the end of the sale and you realized, you didn't set the 20%, you just set it and then refresh the page and it's all there.
Okay, awesome.
All right. Now, what's going on over here at the right is what Christy and I talked about earlier. Is this is a snapshot of all the financials in real time with every change. So you can run as many rings as you want. Now you see the catalog ring, which is 0. So if you're creating a catalog, selling on time, online, doing a simulcast, you'll use ring 0. But for the most part, you'll have one ring. That's the main ring, the general. If you're selling you got an auctioneer selling inside, and maybe you're going to sell some farm machinery outside or some automobiles. So you can create as many rings as you want just quickly on the fly. All right, we got a ring that's selling nothing but coins. And we're going to have another ring that's just doing comic books, whatever, right? And the system will organize all of your income from each ring and then give you a total master ring. And then as people go to check out and pay, it all organizes so you'll know how much you should have in checks, how much you should have in cash, how much you should have in credit cards, and who paid or who was invoiced because they left an absentee bid. Now, one of the things I noticed is my square didn't show up. The reason why is because I built this auction in the system before you and I went through the information that I asked you. So I need to go fix it. So I'm going to go down here and I'm going to tell the system I want square to be an auction at checkout for 3%. Now, I just remembered, it turned yellow. Did you see it turn yellow? The system doesn't need you to hit save or submit or anything. As soon as you leave a field, it assumes that you're saving what you've got there so far, so you can't get busy, walk away from something, forget to save, and then it messes up. It's going to protect you in that way. That happens all over the system. All right?
Right.
Well, I think I just hit a button. Let me get myself back in here. Do I have... Are you still in here? Oh, I hate that. All right. My phone number. My password. And so now I need to go in here and find you again. Demry, log in as you. All right, so you got to see the man behind the curtain for a second. All right, so we are back to auctions, manage that sale, and here we are. Okay, so
I wanted to ask you a quick question.
Yes, ma'am.
You talked about it will automatically find people if with their phone numbers if they've ever been on AuctionSoft before.
Yep.
Or if say we have one sale and they come back the next time, it will find them again.
All right.
But what about your online? So say they are online people only. Will that still find them in a live sale if they happen to come in to a live sale?
Yes.
Okay.
And vice versa.
And it just gives them one because
Yes.
AuctionSoft will give you two. They have an online person and then the live person.
No, because we're assuming that they are registering for an account on AuctionSoft to bid online with their phone number.
Same phone number. Yeah. Makes sense to me.
Yeah. So we are also assuming that that is the only phone number like it in the whole country. Right? So that gives us the ability to create only one account per person to keep all of that straight.
Sure.
Yeah.
Sure.
Okay?
Okay, great. Thank you.
All right. So now we've talked about the financials over here, which update in real time as we go. Now we've got our square fees because I went in here and hit the settings on that. Now errors. The reason you might have errors is, let's say we didn't set this 20%, but Tom had sales in this auction. The system would say, wait a minute, we think you've done something wrong. This person's got sales but no commission rate. And then there are three reasons that you get an error. Either the person hasn't registered to bid, the consignor isn't found, that consignor number, or there's no commission for a consignor. So your staff needs to just kind of keep an eye on this as it goes along, and as things come in, keep an eye on them. So much better than paper that you don't find out till the end of the sale and everybody's gone home. I'm not sure how Flex does it, but we try to help you. Now, the bottom is the master clerking grid. So everything that happens anywhere on any ring is coming in here consecutively, and that is all searchable by you, the cashier, at this point. Excuse me. With anything. Well, I'm going to show you that in a second. But these three pieces are all right here in front of you. There's no bouncing around with this page or that page or clicking on this. And I know Flex is like that. So, all right. So let's go pretend to have a sale. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to go to the general ring and start our general ring. We simply go over here to this button that says clerking grid. And now this one you're probably somewhat familiar with. It's very similar with one major change. We use the left pinky tab on the keyboard to go from field to field. So let's start out here. The first consignor 1. I'm going to tab into that, and let's just say we're selling a table and chairs as the first item. And it sells for, now here's our tag. We don't need to tag it as farm machinery, so we just tab past it into the price, and it's brought $150. Now if I can put in the .00, or I can just tab to the next one, and the bidder was, I'm not going to say 23 because that would make him the bidder and the seller. Let's just say 2 bought that. Quantity of 1, I tab into the clerk, and boom. It automatically comes back over here and autofills. It's the same consignor, so I just tab next to it. It's set of dishes. And I know this is the part that's kind of boring. Tab into it. This set of dishes, Noritake, it brought $35. And the bidder was number 3. There was only 1. Enter. My dad runs 120 items an hour. 2 items a minute. The system will keep... Yeah, the system will keep track of it, no problem. We actually... Some auctioneers make it a game, but we'll actually track your success on keeping how many items per hour you're selling.
I like it.
And here's your ring total so far. So let's go back now. Lot 1, and we're going to say this is actually we're going to do choice box lot, and this time it sold for $25. The bidder was 4. He took 6, but there's a couple left. So we're going to tab into the next one, which is clerk and repeat. And when I hit that, it records that line, autofills the rest of this, and pushes your cursor back here because number 4 took 6, but number 2 is going to take the remaining 3, and poof. I guarantee you, after maybe 10 or 15 items, your clerk is on this. They will keep up with you, no problem. The system is very, very, very user-friendly. So let's go on to another one. Go ahead.
I want to ask you on that, on the choice box lot.
Yep.
So we use that other tab that you just did, the clerk, would that say clerk?
Clerk and repeat.
Yep. All right. But say we had resold them again and they were at $10. Can we still use the clerk and repeat and change the dollar amount?
Sure. So I'm using my left pinky on the keyboard again. So again, let's do choice bag. And we're going to go over here and let's do it again. So this time it's $50 to number 2. And they took 5. And we clerk and repeat. But you see where my cursor's at?
Yep.
If I shift tab, it goes back 1.
Okay.
So tab takes you to the right. Shift tab takes you to the left. A person that's kind of savvy on the keyboard, maybe they already knew that. But if you train them, you can go back and forth. So the next time you sold it only brought $35, and it sold to number 3, and they took the remaining 2 items, clerk it. So now,
Retype everything in.
correct.
Awesome.
Here's even one better. So let's say this person was choosing, you went on to sell the next item, and now they want to come back and it's next choice. You just come over here and hit this one, and it takes this line and auto fills it up here, so you can just go back and get the next, bidder number 5 took 3. Now, you see bidder number 5 is not found because it's in red. But online auction flex, it doesn't stop the sale and say, who's number 5? Can you please register this person? It just go on, all right? This now will cause an error that, let's say the person's bidding on their permanent bid number 5, but they haven't gone to the cashier's window to check in, so to speak. As soon as they check in, the very next item the clerk types in, it will retroactively fix all these question marks, no matter how many there are.
Okay.
All right?
Can the clerk, it would stop the sale, but can the clerk quick check that person in and say that has that permanent bidder number?
No, because it would stop the sale.
Right, gotcha.
Okay, so let's say number 5 bought all day long, never checked in. Now, our thought is, and the way I train people is, as soon as you see this show up here, your cashier goes, oh, wait, what's going on? They click this button. The system says, all right, here's the error. Bidder 5 doesn't have a name next to it. Oh, well, I remember who bidder 5 is. Oh, there's no 5 because it's permanent number Janet. And all you do is go to Janet and you click the button and turn her on, and it fixes everything. So even if she walked up to pay her bill at the end of the sale, oh, you didn't even check in. Let me click this button to check you in and click this button to check you out.
Okay. So we got, because we have some people that don't check in. We'll just have to make sure we get them in the habit of stepping up at the window and saying, hey, Tom's here, and they can check them in.
Well, let me show you something else. Let's go over here. Now, we haven't talked about these buttons yet, and we will, but I'm going to show you one real quick. Every sale, you can print a QR code, and you can post it around your auction facility. And when people get to the facility, all they got to do is scan that, and it checks them in. Save time at your cashier's window. Now, let's see. Oh, here it is. So just post this around. Now, what you got to remember is this QR code is unique to this sale. So don't laminate it. Put them up around. Tear them back down at the end of the sale.
That's only for permanent bidder people.
If they're not permanent, it walks them through the process of putting on their driver's license. They have to scan their ID. It's a more complicated. It's better for permanent people, but it will check them in if not.
Okay.
All right.
Well, we just ran into that at our big fall machinery auction. We had people standing in line to get bidder numbers for hours. Like one person didn't have to stand there for 4 hours, but for 4 hours we had people in line to get bidder numbers.
Yeah, so if anybody's savvy and they can use a QR code and their permanent bid numbers especially, they scan that, they click a button. Well, so what happens is when they scan it, it sends the person, it asks them for their phone number, which again, we're using to make them unique. It sends them a code to verify that that is truly their phone number. And then when they put the code in, then it registers them. They're done.
Where did you get that QR code? I couldn't see the screen.
Pink button over here on the top right says tools. Okay. So now we've got, let's see. Now I'm taking out all these search boxes. They'll hold that. So I got to take out those. Now I can see everything that happens here. Let's do one more thing. Let's go here to the farm machinery one. And we're going to sell a John Deere 444E. And that is tagged as farm machinery. And it brought $50,000. Bidder number, I'm going to say 23 because he bought it back. And now it's pink. The seller and the buyer are the same. It shows up as pink. All it does at this point, because we didn't turn on that feature, is alert you that he bought it back. Okay. Now, one item on that ring. Let's go back. And now we're here. Now, so somebody walks up and they say, hey, can you tell me what I bought? Because they're not using their phone feature. By the way, Christy, I don't have anything for you here. let's say we edit this because you are actually bidder number 1. All right, so let's make you 1 on an item. And so everything down here at the bottom is editable. So you can make change. Somebody walks up and they say, hey, this showed up on my phone, but I didn't buy it. Or they say, oh, he was asking for 50,000, but he dropped the hammer at 49,000. You know, you can quickly make edits for the whole sale from no matter what ring it's coming through. Okay. So if I wanted to just see the items that Mr. Baxter bought, I just type in his last name. If there's hundreds of items here and I just want to see what the table and chair brought, you know, you find it. Or I know something brought $50,000 and I want to know what it is. So it's very quick and easy to find what you need right on this main screen. Okay, so I'm going to get rid of that, open up my whole screen. I'm doing a hard refresh just to make sure all my numbers are in. So I've got 2 different rings with sales. Now, we even have, let's say you walked outside and you were just going to sell like 4 or 5 items. This little button right here sends a text message to whoever you want. You can change these numbers. But let's say you've got a clerk and you don't have an extra laptop and you're going to go outside and sell a row of vehicles. You send this to them and it sends them a little code on their phone and they can clerk like they're texting.
Oh my gosh.
So it basically gives them a clerking grid with with their thumbs as the input. You know, like you're texting your friend.
That work if you do it now?
Sure. That's the number. That's your number, right?
That's Christy's number.
Okay, here it comes.
Yep.
Here it comes.
All right, so then I just hit on that URL code.
Yep.
There it is.
So now you could run outside. Don't need an extra laptop. Go outside, clerk a few items, come back in.
Oh my gosh, I love that.
All right. The system is all about being user friendly, simple to use. I mean, when you get to this page, I mean, everything on here is self-explanatory. All right. So depending on which ring you want to send that to, you just click the right button. It goes to that ring. Now, I'm not going to spend too much time on online and catalog because you told me in our first phone call you were really trying to replace your live software. But we do a really nice job of clerking or online and simulcast as well. You know, we just, you know, HiBid has all the name recognition, but we have all those tools.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I can foresee us coming this direction, but our live is so important right now for us. We're just really in a mess with it, so it's top priority.
Well, awesome. I'd love to be there for you for whatever you need. But I believe that our software is one of the easiest to use, most cost effective. I mean, I really do think we got the best system out there for live auctions.
Yeah, I agree. I even like it better, much better than Gavel Buddy, what it was. So
Thank you.
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, this is really nice. You've done a great job putting that together.
Thank you, sir. I started building this is actually version 2. I started building version 1 about 12 years ago, and then I built it just for my family, and it became something I was really proud of, and I thought other people might like to use this. So then version 2 was all about making it a subscription based like we've done. So
Right.
all right. So let's talk about these buttons up here at the top. The settings button is simply once you create the sale, if you need to adjust something like your sale is not at 9 o'clock. I think, what is your sale time for that?
10 o'clock.
10 o'clock. Okay, so let's go back to that. Let's change it to 10 a.m. 10 a.m. Okay, turned yellow. Let's say, maybe here.
Yeah, that'll work.
All right. No, so I did not. Let's go over here. Let's see, upcoming sale. View event.
We just need to update our website a little bit. We've been swamped the last few weeks, so.
Do you manage that yourself?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
We manage everything ourselves.
Oh, I cut and paste. All right, that's better. All right. Get there. Proof. Okay. All right. Yeah. So you can come in here and update this to say whatever you want it to say. Let's see. So we're not doing that. We're not doing that. Okay. All that's fine. This is where you would come to upload images. Do you have any images for this sale?
Not yet. We will in the next few days.
You can get images into the system, by putting them on the computer, or again, just send yourself this link, and every image you tap on your photo library will just automatically go up to this sale.
Let me see that again. So we let others upload pictures. Okay, I got it.
Yeah.
Yep.
So, I mean, theoretically for here, for people to see it when they come there. But it's, again, if you have a staff member that's going to walk out, take all the pictures, you just put their phone number in here and click this button, and when they're done, it just uploads. So, all right, so let's go back to the sale. Expenses. This is different than the one we put in for the consignor. This is if you're going to pay people, like you've got multiple consignors, but you're going to just, for your accountant purposes, you want to put in, just, I don't know, advertising. And let's say it was $500 you spent on advertising and you paid with a check. Okay, add expense. Oh, who are you writing that to? The trader. And add expense. All right. So you can do as many of those expenses as you want. Now, AuctionSoft makes money in 2 or 3 ways. One, there is a $499 sign up. That gets you this demo, the onboarding, and it gets me on call until you don't need me anymore. And which that won't take long. And even after that, one of the reasons I use myself up here first, this is my phone number. If you or your staff need anything at any point, you text me or call me and I am available for you. So that's part of what you get for the onboarding fee. Second, we charge $20 for every sale that you list on the system. No monthly fees, it's just $20. The third way that we make money is for text promotions. So a week before your auction, you've got all your pictures up. You want everybody to know about it. You can come in here, click the promo button, and you can say, all right, I want a text message, and you can change this. I want a text message to go out to all my users. Currently, that's 4 people at 6 cents per person. So think 1,000 customers is $60. It's cheap. Okay. You click this button, and every 10 minutes, our system runs a queue, and it will do a text blast. All right. So this one's on me. All right. So then it's 6 cents per person that goes out to a text, 4 cents per email. People are not always in the habit of getting customer emails, but we require you to get the phone number, so it is very effective. All right. Now, we talked about the tools. Okay, now it's the end of the sale. Everybody's paid. Actually, we haven't done that yet. Let's go collect. The first thing you do is go to the Register Bidders tab. Again, everything's right here. Go to Register Bidders. Anybody with a bill shows up in red. So let's say we're going to check out Christy. And this is what it looks like on your phone. Right? We're going to check you out. You're going to pay with a check. Your check number is whatever it is. And once I finalize that, once this gets to the middle, that just means you're paid in full. And when I go to print this out, now it has a record of what you paid, how you paid, and what time you paid. Okay? We try to tell people, hey, it's on your phone. Do you really need a printout? Because I'm not only saving paper and ink, but I'm saving time. That person gets out of line. The next person's up ready to go. Right? train your customers to look for the text messages and to just have that on their phone as their receipt. Okay, so we did that one. Now it turns blue. Go ahead.
Joshua, just real quick on the text messaging. So on a live auction, and every time I buy something, I'm going to get a text message.
No.
No, just when I pay.
No.
No. Okay.
So when you register, you'll get a text that says welcome to the sale.
Yep.
But when you buy 50 items throughout the day, all of that updates quietly in the background of your phone. At the end, when you come to register, if you say, I want my, excuse me, I want my receipt, please email it to me. I do have an email on file for Christy. So if I click this, you get an email and you get a text that just says, here's your final receipt. But really, it's already on their phone if they're watching.
Yeah. So if they're halfway through the day and they bought 10 items, they want to make sure they still have enough money, they can look at a rolling total by clicking on that link.
Yeah, it updates every second.
Outstanding.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Now, now here's a funny thing. See this right here? This tells me that I know Christy's looked at her phone 3 times.
Oh my God.
If someone pays from their phone, you'll see another little icon show up. This one here. And if someone owes you from a previous sale, this little dollar thing sign is up. Okay. Now, let's do another one. Let's say this person comes in to pay. Refresh. Something didn't work right. Refresh your page. I did that already. Oh, it logged me out again. Let's see what that text message is. Oh, yeah. So the system sends us error reports so that we can fix stuff. So whatever just booted me out, it sent me an error. So I'll fix that. All right. So we are here again. Let's go in to sign this person out. And this person only brought $200 in cash. So when I put in the $200, they still owe that. So when I finalize that, it still leaves this section over here because they're not paid in full. But that is down here. Now they're going to pay the rest of it with Square. The system automatically knows because I chose Square, it adds 3%. Square can give me an approval code and finalize it. So now I have 2 different forms of payment. Everything's organized. This person's paid in full. Close this back. It tells us both parts they've paid. This guy came and he wrote a check for, let's say he wrote a check for $50,000. And later, if he kept bidding and buys something else, this will show up as yellow. All right. So let's say we go down here and we find number 23, Tom, and we change that to the person that bought that $50,000. Oh, well, that was Tom too. I can't do that. Bad example. I was going to change that so it looked like he owed more money, but let's do it this way. Number 3. Change. Auction soft. Number 3 to number 23. And then, now, he still owes $35. So he's partially paid. Now, whether he sells up, goes, buys more, and comes back. So you have 3 different colors here to tell you the status of each person. I think the color codes really help. The human eye kind of differentiates stuff and makes the user experience better.
So, quick question. So if we get Stripe, is there a place to actually put in and charge them through Stripe here?
Yes.
Through your software?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. So basically one of these would say Stripe.
Okay. Okay.
And then we just manually input it in.
We're working on a swiper, but yes, the fees are the same no matter what. So we really didn't take a whole lot of time to get the swiper going.
Right.
But let's say once I come to your sale and I use my credit card, every time I come back, that card's on file.
Yeah. I thought I saw something in here that said card on file.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right. So let's check this person out. How is he paying? Well, let's see. He was an absentee bidder, so we'll settle up today's activity with an invoice. It stays red because he is still has an amount due. Check. One person has left to pay. I just come up here to the top, click this, and it brings everyone yet to pay to the top. Organizes that. You could, if you've got 50 people out loading their tractors and everything on their flat boys or whatever, and you want them to come in and pay, you just click this button. Again, it sends everybody a text that says, but these things are things you're doing manually. You know, so you don't have to do that. It's not going to get it unless you want to prompt them to get in and get their bill paid.
Yeah.
This is also what we use for online payments. So at the end of an online sale, when everything has soft closed, you click this button and it sends everybody their final bill.
Yeah. Oh, that's nice. You mean I don't have to run around the machinery and try and find somebody when they're loading to tell them to come pay?
Well, you still may, but at least you have another tool at your disposal.
Oh, gosh.
Okay, so now let's go pay our get our consignor settled up. So we're on the third tab now. Again, everything's organized right here in front of you. Third tab, this is how much we owe the consignor. Let's go find out what that looks like. We had one item that was redlined at 10%. Everything else is a 20% commission. The average ticket, which was skewed because of the $50,000. Here's everything they sold, what it brought. Here is their expenses that we recouped, and here's what you owe them. You're going to write a check, and you're going to get out your check number, and now it's done. You can email them that or print it out, and there it is. Quick and easy.
Yeah. Very.
Now, I showed you how to do consigners here because if you only have one consignor. But if you're going to do a bulk consignor, there is a consignor report. Let's say you had 20 consigners. Everything on the right, come on, my long report is missing. That's strange. Oh, that's because I'm on the wrong account. Let's refresh. Too many accounts going at one time. Let's do it again. Huh. Now I should be in. Why is it my account? Bear with me, folks. That's a little embarrassing. Too many things going on at one time. Demry login as you. Back to your auction. And consignor report. There we go. All right, so the short version here is simply a summary. So if you had a manila folder that you were going to print everything out and keep it for long-term books, you would just print the summaries. The long report is basically every consignor with all of their individual items and their check numbers and so on and so forth. But if you had 25 people, you could click print long report and it simply just sends the message to your printer to print everybody, okay, all at once, okay? Now, that's the consignor tab, then the auction report. Now, let's talk about the ways that AuctionSoft protects your data in the cloud. We have a 3-server cloud. Do you know what I mean by that?
Not enough to know to be dangerous.
The system you see me playing with right now is, let's say, server 1. When I click a button, server 1 is giving me the data. Every time I make a change, there is a mirroring server. Think of it like your computer in one room and another computer in another room, only ours are in different cities. God forbid, the Twin Towers was where the server was at, right. Things protected, right? Then at about 4 o'clock in the morning, everything backs up to a third server as a catastrophe backup. Okay? There are 3 levels of protection. So if lightning hits your Now I don't know about 360, but in the old Flex or even Gavel Buddy, was Gavel Buddy downloaded to your computer?
When we first started, and then after a while, we moved it to internet.
Oh, okay. Well, you understand that lightning hits your facility, you've lost your computers and most of your data.
Right.
But in the cloud, that's one of the great things about the cloud is this will run on anything that hits the internet. And if lightning hits your building, you go buy 5 new laptops, you turn them all on, and you're off and running. You lost nothing. The fourth way that we protect your data is at the end of the sale, 48 hours after the sale, the person that owns this account, Tom, your email is going to get a PDF of everything that happened. It is kind of a, I hate to say redneck, but a low cost fourth backup because it's coming to your email, and theoretically that's Gmail or Hotmail or whatever it is, saved as a PDF. But what it's going to be is this. Every financial, like your summary page, you know, we asked just a couple people how they heard about us, so the marketing channels, all your tax-exempt bidders, every registered bidder that came to the sale, all their details, the consigners. Now, you might have 10 consigners listed. Only the people that had sales in this event show up. Every payment that came in, if you just want to go organize your payments and see, all right, I should have 5 checks, I should have, 3 credit card printouts, whatever. All of that's right here, and every section is searchable. We only put in one expense. The consignor expense we recouped right here. Every clerked item, when it was clerked, what it was, and even who clerked it in what ring.
Okay.
All tagged items, there was only one, which is the tractor. And then the change log. So if, nothing in AuctionSoft can be deleted, only edited. And the reason we do that is because let's say you trust your cashier, but you hired somebody new. Somebody walks up, they had They had one item that was $100. It's pretty darn easy. You still with me?
Yep.
Okay. It's pretty darn easy to just quickly make an edit from 100 to 10 and your cashier pockets 90. But there is an easy way to catch them because everything that is done, every change is in the system for you to scrutinize later. Okay?
Very good.
All right. All right, well, that is about the end of my demo. Tell me what you think. Give me any questions. Where do we go from here?
I got couple questions.
Okay.
One is, I think Christy had mentioned this to me the other day after you guys talked, the consignor numbers. So we start with number 1, and then do we start at number 1 at every sale, or does it just keep adding into the list?
All right. It does either. Our suggestion is you just let the list run until you're annoyed by it because you're in 3 digits or something like that. And then we come over here to company, to consigners, and we click this button. And it resets the list. Basically what...
Consignor's information out.
So what it does is it basically puts a lock on everything that's happened previously. So you can go back to those auctions and consignor 1 was Tom Demry.
Yep.
But once you click this, the next consignor you try to put in the system will get number 1.
Okay. All right. I like that. I'm good. But we like at the end of a year, with our 2 big machinery auctions, we would be into the 300s probably for the year of consignors.
Yeah, and I know a lot of my livestock customers.
Right.
They like that. They just want everybody to know their number and they just have it. So we recommend you just let it run until you get to the point where, okay, maybe it's once a year. You click that button and you start over.
Yep. And then I'm consignor number 1, and I sell something at 4 different auctions. I'm going to be consignor number 1 every time.
Correct.
Perfect. Okay.
And you don't have to type in the name.
Right. It's just a number. Thank God.
You just type in their number, and then it pulls it off.
Are we talking about clerking?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Because we
Yeah.
switch from consigners almost every lot
So yeah, so that means you need to either tag the item or make sure that your staff knows what lot number. I mean, we call it a lot. I grew up calling it a lot number, consigner number, seller number, whatever it is. But that's yeah, you just use a number.
Yeah.
And that's how we had done it for my whole life until 360, and then we had to do it by name, and that's a giant pain in the idea.
Yep.
One other question I wrote down earlier on, you said when we were going through checking in buyers that you said that you had an ID scanner.
Yep.
You have those, or does it use any ID scanner?
It's an excellent question. Let's. It is a 7580. Excuse me. All right, so this is the one that we have integrated with.
Okay.
Actually, if you go to, let's see, it's here somewhere. Yeah. So I recommend buying a used one. I have a lot of used ones. If you want one, you can order it from me, and I'll test it and send it out at 1, 2, or 3 of them. I usually get about $50 for a scanner.
Okay.
I thought though that Flex uses the same scanner, don't they?
Well, so we had ID scanners for when we were using Gavel Buddy,
Yeah.
and when we switched to Flex, they of course weren't the same ones,
Okay.
and we just hadn't bought any yet because they were pretty pricey.
Yeah. Well, they're very simple to use. In fact, the reason I was looking this up is because you buy them online, and I usually find them on eBay in bulk, and I buy a bunch of them at a time, and I can get them for about $25. So I sell them to you with shipping and everything for $50.
Okay.
But a lot of times they'll come with some other programming on them. But we found this on the Honeywell website, and if you scan this little barcode, it resets everything to factory settings.
Okay.
And we integrated with the factory settings to work. So I don't have one hooked up at the moment, but I could, it works. Yeah.
Okay. I think that would be something we would want a couple of those.
Okay. Yeah, I always keep several available for new clients that call me up, and I ship them out. But because you can get some that I've had that I could not figure out why it wouldn't reset to factory settings, and I had to throw them away. But so if I get them used, I like to test them before I send them to you. So.
Sure. That's fair.
All right. All right. What else?
I mean, I think the rest of it would just be I'm fairly computer savvy, so I think it's just a matter of working through it and learning how it works.
If you want to move forward with us, I would suggest. I mean, this sale's for you for free. I would upload pictures, even run your November 15th with AuctionSoft if you want. Oh, that's another thing. Do you think you can get that CSV file, Christy?
Probably, yeah.
Okay. So if you can get that and either mail it to me or try to do it yourself or whatever, it's very simple once you have the file in front of you. But I'd be happy to hold your hand if you need to. But once you have that, and actually I could probably get you the scanners before the 15th, and you'd be ready to go with AuctionSoft 100%. Now that gives you a free sale. The way I make my $4.99 is you go into the auctions and you add a new sale. And the very first sale you add for your after November 15th auction, it's going to charge you $4.99, which gives you another free sale. And then every sale after that is $20.
Okay.
So it's all on you just to create a sale, and I'll get a text message that you did that. And do you have another one coming up that you know of the date already?
We might do one more the first weekend of December, and then we'll kind of shut it down through the holidays.
If you are sure you're going to go with me, go ahead and create that sale. Put all the details in, so you'll have 2 on the front page. I'll ship you a couple scanners. If you like what you see, and I can close the sale this evening. Now, I really do think there's a lot of value in you having me available, and I encourage you, the slightest little thing to text me or call me, and you will always have me. 5 years from now, if you need something, just call me.
Okay. I think we would like to proceed.
We really like it.
Great. Now I'm gonna give you one more thing.
Okay.
If you recommend AuctionSoft to someone else, I give you their sign-up fee.
Oh, okay.
That's fair enough.
And if they recommend to someone else, I give them their sign-up, and so on and so forth. So, really trying to grow this across the country. We've got less than 200 users so far. We're still the underdog, but like I say, I believe our system is so much easier to use than others.
I think you have a very nice product.
Yeah.
Thank you.
And we will recommend. Are we the only one in Iowa if we sign up?
Let's go see. Let's go here and log out real quick. Go to AuctionSoft and map. This is you. Yeah, that's it. So I mean, I'm from Indianapolis, so we have most of our stuff is Midwest, but yeah.
So I have seen your stuff pop up on my Facebook page before, and I've been to your website and looked around, and then we just were so frustrated the other day. I went on that auctioneer's Facebook page, and there was 2 or 3 people that recommended your company.
Excellent. That's good. Well, Hunter Sims, one of those guys, sent me that screenshot, so that's why I reached out to you.
Well, I'm glad you did.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I'll tell you what. If you feel like you're going forward, create that next sale. It'll send me a link. I'll box you up scanners and get them in the mail tomorrow.
Okay. Perfect.
Okay.
And then just let us know how and when we pay you, and we'll get it done.
Fair enough.
Yep. Yep.
All right, folks. If you need me, if an hour from now you think of something you wanted to ask, don't hesitate. I mean that.
All right.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, Josh.
All right, guys. Have a good night.
You too. All right. Bye-bye.
Hi, Wanda. I was just